Well, that was a hell of a roller coaster for game 78. Jersey guy? Jersey guy? Oh, there you are. You okay? You awake? I tell you, Johnny, if things go our way in the playoffs, I don't know how I'm going to handle my heart. Preds tied the New Jersey Devils 2-2. And then everybody's hands go up, way up, as the Nashville Predators defeat the New Jersey Devils in the gimmick known as the shootout by a total of 1-0, thus winning the game 3-2 Sunday night in Newark, New Jersey, inside the Prudential Center. A key power play goal late in the third period. Some clutch saves by Hughes in overtime. The factor being a factor in the shootout. And with this win, the Preds are now 1 point away from punching their ticket into the playoffs. Preds playing the second half of a back-to-back, their second last one of the season. Thank goodness, because these can be just as exhausting on the fan base as they can the team. We all know what the Preds did last night in Long Island. We don't need to rehash that. All we need to do is focus as a fan base, and hopefully the players do as well, at reducing that magic number coming into this game that was 3 more points. And heck, the Devils were playing the second half of a back-to-back as well. They won in Ottawa on Saturday, so they had to fly. All the Preds had to do was take a bus. Saros back in net for the Preds after a solid start by Lankin last night, so you know Saros had to match the energy that his backup brought to the net. But not the start that you want to see this team have, as just under 2 minutes into the first period, Jack Hughes comes down the right wing board, snaps it on net. It beats Saros' blocker side, a goal he should have had, the first shot on net, and just like that, the Devils are up 1-0. The Preds' fourth line, which has been key in some games down the stretch this season, especially during the point streak, 3.5 minutes in, McCarron and Sherwood coming close to try and tie it up, but Kakkonen denies him the opportunity. Later, Gus Nyquist has a partial breakaway, almost ties it, but he's defended well off the puck. 4.5, you've got Tommy Novak who gets denied. We reach the 8-minute mark. UC Saros seems to have calmed down after that not so stellar start, allowing that Jack Hughes goal. Now, just after Kakkonen had a collision with his own teammate, 11 minutes and change remaining in the first period, off of a face-off win to Kakkonen's right, O'Reilly gets it to Philip Forsberg, who gets it back to the point to Roman Josi, and I have never seen a goal go in so slow for him before. He takes a blast that gets through Kakkonen's 5-hole as he reacts awkwardly. It may have hit him in the nether regions, and he falls down, and before him or his defenders can stop it, it rolls into the net, and just like that, the Preds bounce back and tie this game at 1. Kakkonen for the Devils is forced to leave to get checked out, forcing Jake Allen, his backup, to come in relief, and Kakkonen would not return. You hate to see somebody leave like that, hey, but the good news is the Preds have squared this game at 1 and are right back in it. Jake Allen is forced to be put to the test. About 8 minutes left to go in the first period as Cole Smith makes a stop, but Allen sends a breakout that UC Saros is forced to scramble way out of his net, a little too close for comfort, but he's able to send a breakaway away before there is a good Devils chance to score on him to give the Devils back the lead. A little later, officiating be consistently inconsistent as Keither Sherwood is taken down behind Allen, and there's no call. And clear as day, it should have been a call. We're in the last quarter of the first period. Just over 4 minutes left. Odd man rush. Gus Nyquist backhands it over to Philip Forsberg, who has a great chance, but he's stopped by Allen as Forsberg tries as he might to finally break Matt Duchene's goal record. Final minute of the first period. Neither team seems desperate to get themselves another chance. Maybe they're afraid that there'll be a breakout the other way. First period winds down. Horn sounds. Tied at 1 after 1. Preds with a slight edge in shots, 13-9 after the first period. Jack Hughes gets a chance coming out from behind the Preds net just short of 2 minutes into the second period, but Alexander Carey helps cut down the angle so Saros can make the save. Friendly fire almost 5 minutes into the second period as Jeremy Lauzon is trying to get the puck out of his defensive end. The puck ends up hitting Tommy Novak in the face just in front of the Preds bench, so luckily he's able to get off right away. There didn't seem to be any blood, and fortunately Tommy Novak would later return so the Preds wouldn't be down a man too long. Just over 6.5 into the second period, Colton Sissons gets tagged for tripping, and the Devils would go to the power play, but the Preds would have a really good chance shorthanded to try and take the lead as it was Ryan O'Reilly along with Mark Janikowski, but they can't beat Allen. Ultimately, good successful kill as we've now played 9 minutes of the second period. Ziegenthaler would then take down Zucker right in front of Allen's net. The Preds would go to the power play. Preds had some good control initially in that power play. They're right there, right in Allen's kitchen. You can smell the puck going into Allen's net, but the Preds can't convert, and the Devils kill the penalty. Palat for the Devils gets a partial breakaway, but Saros seeming to be back in this, playing like he did against the Blues, and a lot better since he did against Arizona. And he turns that chance aside, and we play on tied at 1. Then, with just over 2 minutes left to go in the second period, Preds cycling the puck down low in the Devils' zone. You've got that second line, Evangelista, Jankowski to Novak. He is staring at an open net, and he can't beat Allen, who robs him. Oh my God! Under a minute left to go now in the second period. Props to Gustav Nyquist, who escapes Devils threat when he backhands the puck to Saros, who he knows will cover the puck and get a whistle. Right before the horn sounds for the second intermission with about 3 seconds left to go in the middle frame, Jeremy Lauzon goes off for holding, meaning the Devils will start a power play with 3 seconds left, and the majority of it will be on fresh ice in the third period. One more threat for the Preds to overcome to try and will themselves to win this game. Preds doing the right things as they are out shooting the Devils 25-17 after 2 periods, but still tied at 1. Preds start the third period off on the right foot. McCarron flanked by multiple Devils players behind Allen's net, milks the clock during a good portion of that penalty kill. The Devils ultimately get no time to set up, no time for any real threat, and the Preds kill off Lauzon's penalty, and the Devils don't even register a shot. But 15 seconds after killing off the penalty, puck comes behind Saros' net. Saros decides to play it. Big miscommunication between him and Ryan McDonough, who he tries to play it to. McDonough must have not been expecting it. He can't corral it. Gets turned over to the Devils, and before Saros can react, Turney has put the puck in the net, and the Devils are back up by 1. Now up 2-1. Get it together, guys. Time continues to tick away. Preds playing kind of lackadaisical. Still in the first half of the third period. Not seeming desperate, but perhaps they should be, with the Blues nipping at their heels. By the way, playing a very heated game in St. Louis. They had a big lead in the third period before that game got interesting, and I'll get to that in the wrap-up of this game. We get to the halfway mark of the third period. Preds starting to create some chances, cycling well. Colton Sissons has a great chance at a wide open net, but he hits the post behind Jake Allen. Tad under 9 minutes left to go in regulation. This is where it starts to get interesting. First, Philip Forsberg gets high-sticked under his visor as the Preds will go back to the power play. Fortunately, the Preds aren't desperate enough as they don't get good, consistent possession in the offensive zone. No good looks to try and test Allen, and just as it appears that the Devils are going to escape and put this thing back to even strength, just as that power play is about to expire, a delay of game call. 5-on-3 for 1 second. The Devils tried to protest the delay of game, saying that it was in the neutral zone, so it was a very innocent delay of game that should not be called, but nope, the refs saw it. The Devils player was still inside his defensive zone, So the Preds get a golden opportunity with the 5-on-3. There will be time before the player coming out for Philip Forsberg's high stick will have a chance to get into the play and help his other 3 teammates. And guess what? The Preds come through. Not even 10 seconds off of the faceoff for the delay of game. Puck is played around. Ryan O'Reilly backhands it over to the Italian kid in New Jersey, no less, who makes no mistake. Luke Evangelista gets it on his stick. He doesn't make a mistake. No, he doesn't. He moves it past Jake Allen, and he's pumped. The Preds are pumped. This fan base is pumped. The Preds have life once again, have tied this game in 2-2. Not to mention that Luke comes in clutch in his 100th career NHL game. We reached the last quarter of the third period. Preds can define their NHL season right now, right here in these last 5 minutes, and possibly overtime or the gimmick. Nico Hischier gives the Preds and the fan base a scare as he gets close, but Lazon, Carrier, and then Saros denies him the chance. Preds can be happy to get 1 point, but you know they're hungry to get 2, as they might have gotten word to the Preds bench about what's going on in Anaheim as we get closer and closer to overtime. Final seconds of regulation finally tick down. The Preds outshoot the Blues by a meager 8-5, but they have secured a point, reducing their magic number to 2. Now they want to go for 1 more. First possession of overtime goes to the Preds as they take almost a minute to get something worked up. Nyquist is able to get a shot off, stopped by Allen. Then quickly the Devils get a chance, but Saros stops them about 90 seconds into overtime. Then it's Nyquist trying to will his team to the win. He gets a chance, stopped by a Devils defender as he gets a shot off on Allen. 2.5 minutes left in overtime. Under 90 seconds left to go now. Jack Hughes gets a great chance to beat Saros in overtime, but Ryan McDonough with a key block. Now in succession, the Preds get a chance that's denied by Allen. Then that allows the Devils to go 3-on-1 the other way, stopped by Saros. And you know what happens when you go 3-on-1 the other way? Well, the Preds get a 3-on-1 chance going back the other way, and that's stopped by Allen. But in the process of making that save, Luke Hughes is forced to take down Philip Forsberg, who would have had a golden opportunity, but with 30 seconds left to go in overtime, that gives the Preds a power play chance. And amazingly, that was the first stoppage throughout all of overtime. They played 4.5 minutes without a whistle. Preds can't really get set up in that 30 seconds, and then a bad turnover, oh my God, in a dying seconds of overtime, sends the Devils almost 2-on-0 the other way, shorthanded. It's a lot closer for the Preds to catch up, as many of you, like me, may have had a flashback to when the Canucks had this happen to them by the Preds, where Yossi got over to Yarncroke with 1.5 seconds left. Fortunately, Yossi comes out of his net to bail out his team. There's a few seconds left. Gus Nyquist, it's a noisy building, he can't hear the whistle, thinks he has a breakaway chance to try and score. No, it doesn't go in. The horn would have sounded in time anyways. Oh, what an overtime. Prudential Center is applauding. It's noisy. That's good hockey. This game is going to the gimmick. As for the shootout, the Devils elect to go first. Timo Meier is up first. He goes in, tries to confuse Saros, but he can't fool the Preds netminder. Then first up for the Preds is Gustav Nyquist. He goes in slow, swings out wide, tries to confuse Allen, but Allen's having none of it, and we're bagels after 1 round of shooters. Jesper Bratt then goes up for the Devils in the 2nd round. He tries to go in with some speed, tries to shoot past Saul's 5-hole, but he's denied. It's the factor, Ryan O'Reilly. He goes in a little slow, picks up speed at the end, tries to fake like he might deke out Allen, but snaps it 5-hole before he can react. The Preds up 1-0 after 2 rounds. Saros makes a clutch save on the Devils' 3rd try. No need for a 3rd Preds shooter. Preds with a clutch win in the gimmick, winning it 1-0, winning the game 3-2, reducing their magic number 2-1, depending on a game on the West Coast that we'll get to. How's everyone's heart doing? Everybody breathing okay? Back to resting heart rate? Between the Preds rallying for the clutch win in Jersey Sunday and then seeing the Ducks almost rally back and drag the Blues into overtime before falling short in a shootout, there's only so much a man's heart can take, especially rooting for Anaheim. God, I'm glad that's over. But yes, with the Preds winning, but also the Ducks not beating the Blues, that means the Preds' magic number for clinching a playoff spot is reduced from 3 to 1. Not to 0, but I had a feeling coming into this weekend it wouldn't get finished off because that Blues team is a feisty bunch and they're clinging on for their dear lives. But there's only so much time before their fingers fall off of the cliff and their season will be done. The Preds are not choking this one away. Go look at moneypuck.com. Even though the Preds' magic number still is at 1, they have the Preds making the playoffs at 100%. Preds will find a way to get that one last remaining point, hopefully more as a part of a win. Maybe Tuesday night at home in front of the Bridgestone faithful. Maybe Friday against their big brothers that they hate in Chicago, or worse yet, Columbus at home on Saturday. We'll deal with the possible matchups as teams lock into position either as division leaders or who locks into wildcard spots in the West at a later date. For now, just relax, take a big breather as the Preds. You got to be happy. You would have liked 4 points, but you can't sneeze at the way this weekend finished, along with the help with the Blues that they didn't get 4 points. The Preds are almost to the finish line of nailing down a playoff spot. So that is it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. As always, click like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really like it. You can find my social media where you can interact with me during every Preds game by clicking on the channel name. Tell all your friends about Predemption and Preds Nation. Remember to breathe. Breathe. Just one more point left until we clinch.